you say no? Bad, you know. Hey! You nearly grazed my affordable, yet stylish filmmaker hoodie. Get yours at tryanddigital.com. Tryanddigital.com.
What?
That was an ad.
It was not an ad.
You opened the episode with an ad.
It was an effect.
It was an ad for our apparel.
It was an effect.
It was an ad.
An effective ad. By the way, wear this.
What is this?
Put it on. It's a brand spank me new t-shirt.
Spanking new. I'm not putting it on. I'm not putting it on. I'm not putting it on.
Put it on.
You already did it.
On!
Well, speaking of ads, if you missed Cyber Monday and Black Friday or any of the promos, apparel is back. We have it on our store now. A bunch of different filmmaker t-shirts, hoodies, sweaters, and a hat, and there's gonna be more coming. It was 10% off during Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but if you missed that, we have our Christmas sale coming, which will be from the 9th to the 24th. Apparel will be 10% off, and everything else on the store will be 30% off. So if you missed those sales, you still have another chance at getting all of our goodies at a discounted price. But now, let's jump into the episode.
Put it down.
So earlier this year, we made a tutorial showing you how you could create titles like those from the trailer for Us. And for that, we made some ink bleed assets, which we offered for free, and you could still get for free on our store. Link for that in the notes. All of these assets were filmed by our kick-ass VFX artist, Ryan Thompson, who's also the mad scientist who made our new VFX pack and that insane promo that you saw for it. Now, to film all of the blood stock, Thompson decided to shoot it from below so that it would give more of a seep-through look, and he wouldn't have to deal with possibly blocking the shots with his hand or the bottle he used to pour the liquid. He had a sheet of plexiglass placed over an opening and a table to support it, but you could use a chair on either side or a number of things, really. I mean, you're just propping a thing up. I'm sure you can figure it out. Thompson also taped up a cardboard border to stop any water leaks from happening as he shot. And lastly, he had a few LED lights set up pointing down toward the paper to backlight it. With the camera placed below, he first dipped a sheet of white A4 paper in water to make it less opaque, then placed it down on the plexiglass. He found it worked better to then add more water on top of that to help the blood spread. For the blood, he just used regular food coloring since it's very thin. Then he just dripped the food coloring onto the paper and let that spread. Then he shot a bunch of takes with different sheets of paper until he got a cool variety of bleeds. Now with that done, in Adobe After Effects, we select all the clips that we like of the bleeds, and you can see around the frame that since the paper was wet, all the fibers are visible. This will affect compositing if we don't get rid of these areas, so we're gonna create a white solid and mask around the bleeds as they spread. This is to have the rest of the image clean and solid white for blending. Now we just need to brighten up the footage itself until the mask between the footage and the solid blends seamlessly. Adding it to Josh after he is shot was really simple as well. First, we just used Mocha to track his shirt and applied that to a null. Then we used the asset Film Riot Blood 2, set the blending mode to multiply, which gets rid of the white, and found a scale and position we liked. Then we link it to the Mocha null and we're done. Depending on the shirt color, that can affect how dark the blood is gonna look, but you can always use curves to boost the red or increase the saturation. Now it is a lot of fun to shoot your own assets like this, and it's pretty simple too, but if you don't want to, we do still offer these assets for free over on our store, so jump over there and grab those. A link in the notes for that still is.
Put that on. Put it on.
I'm already wearing one.
Put it on.
I'm already wearing one.
On now! See, that looks awesome.
I do like this shirt. Link for the free assets in the notes below. And now it's time for a brand new segment called Dear Ryan.
Isn't that just mail sack?
Is it better if I stand like this? Like on that, what? How is writing a feature different than writing a short film? So I'm writing a feature now for the first time ever. Before this, I've written things up to about 60 pages, but never something like this that's between 110 and 120 pages. I mean, I think my first draft was 118, my second draft went up to 126, then while building out my third draft, it went all the way to 135, and then I had to pull it back to about 115 so it wasn't so bloated. And I mean, of course, I'm saying drafts, 3 drafts. I mean, I also do a thing called versions, so if you count the versions as drafts, in total, you know, it's like 30, 40 drafts or something like that. But I think short films and feature writing couldn't be more different, at least for me. With a short film, when I make them, I'm just making pockets of time. I'm not trying to tell this full, complete story that's entirely buttoned up in its own, you know, standalone thing. I want you to be able to enjoy it as its own standalone thing, but I'm not trying to close the book on that thing usually, because I want to be able to build it into something bigger if I can, like Ballistic and There Comes a Knocking. There's a lot of amazing short films that are able to wrap it all up, but my brain thinks in larger chunks, so I just, you know, look at short films as a pocket of time, which is the way that I do them, at least. But writing this feature has been a massive learning experience for me, and the way that that has worked is just by writing the thing, getting it all out, showing it to people that I trust, and especially my managers who have an incredible sense of story, and they're able to come back and tell me what is and isn't working, where I need to adjust, what structure makes no sense. And then I take that feedback and I see what gels with me and what I'm trying to do with the feature. And, you know, you definitely take a few days to really sit on and think about what they're talking about, and then come back and work it again and work it again and work it again. And it starts to develop, and you start to see it more clearly, because it is such a massive undertaking with so many moving parts, so many characters that you want to be able to arc and setups with the payoffs, and for it to be satisfying in the end for the audience. So it's a lot of work that really has been a massive, you know, learning experience just by doing. So I would say, to find out for yourself, just go write a feature, even just a vomit draft, and let people read it and just keep building on it from there. And you'll be shocked at how much you learn over time just by improving that one piece. Next question, if it isn't about the camera, why don't you just use a Canon T3i in Film Riot now? That is a good question, but with a very simple answer, and one that I can answer.
Got you a present.
No, you didn't. You got me one of our t-shirts in a CVS bag. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is it wrinkled? It looks wrinkled.
Well, yeah, I had it in CVS bag.
You could have just given it to me. Next time, just
I
give
wanted
it
to
to
be
me.
on camera too.
That's a good question, but with a very simple answer, and I can answer it by saying, if you had to screw something in, would you want to use a butter knife or an electric drill? You could absolutely get it done with the butter knife, but the electric drill is going to do a much better job of it. And what I mean by your camera doesn't matter means if that's all you have, then that's all you have. What really matters is the story you're telling, the pacing you're using, and the skill that you're putting in behind and in front of the camera, not the actual camera body itself. Of course, it's going to look better if you have an Alexa versus an iPhone. But if you really know what you're doing and you know how to use that tool, you can pull out of it what you want. Back way in the early days, pre-film school, I was shooting on VHS tape and then editing from VCR to VCR. And working with those things really gave me sort of a foundation of the way of thinking about creating things, where it's just making whatever you have work. And the reason I'm always pushing the idea of your camera doesn't matter is because a lot of people let that get in their way, and it absolutely should not. You're putting emphasis on a tool instead of the creator, and the creator is everything. You put the Alexa in the hands of a new filmmaker and the iPhone in the hands of an incredible DP, and that iPhone's gonna look 10 times better than that Alexa every single time without fail. So whatever you have right now is the perfect tool for the job to start working and start learning on how to create the thing that you intend to create, because it's only going to be through doing it over and over and over and over again until you're finally able to achieve the vision that you have in your head. And if you don't get there, it doesn't matter if you have an Alexa or an entire crew, it's not going to work out if you don't have all that work put in already. How did you pitch the There Comes a Knocking short into a full feature? Were there key criteria you wanted to make sure potential producers understood, saw, got excited about? I haven't pitched the feature yet. I've been working with my managers to craft that pitch, and we're going to be going out with it very soon. I'm still finalizing the feature script to a place that we're all very excited about and happy that it's in the place we want it to be before we send it out to the places that we want to read it. But the short film will be a part of that pitch, and I wanted to make the short film to be something that showed the tone and the style of what the overall pitch would be, and something that would show that I, as a director, can pull off that style of horror, because everything I have before that is very much action or comedy. The only horror I have is way back in it with Tell, where I was a totally different and much newer filmmaker, so it doesn't really serve the function of what we needed. So we felt by making this short film, that would serve that function to show a studio I can pull off what this feature script is wanting to do. And that, oh God, middle of answering a question.
But just put that on.
I'm trying to be serious.
And then finish. And then
How is anyone ever going to take me serious if you don't let them? So that's it for today. Again, don't forget we have that completely free asset pack that you can get on our store right now for free. And we also have the Christmas sale coming as well.
And our t-shirts.
Okay, t-shirts are in the notes below.
Good job.
And I don't. I'll
Apparel is back.
write, shoot, edit, repeat. See you next time.
Good job. Good job on bringing up the apparel.